The Kethvar delegation materialized on the observation deck of Terra Station with their characteristic shimmer of advanced teleportation technology. Admiral Sarah Chen watched through the reinforced viewport as their sleek obsidian vessels hung motionless in Earth's orbit like predatory shadows against the blue marble below. "Impressive ships," muttered Commander Rodriguez, adjusting his uniform nervously. "Their hulls seem to absorb all electromagnetic radiation." Chen nodded grimly. 3 months had passed since first contact, and humanity had learned enough about the Kethvar to know they weren't here for a friendly chat. The aliens stood 7 feet tall, their crystalline exoskeletons gleaming with an inner light that pulsed in rhythm with their thoughts. Beautiful, ancient, and utterly ruthless. "Admiral Chen." The lead Kethvar's voice resonated through the universal translator, each word dripping with condescension. "We are Harvester Prime Zixthul. We have reviewed your planet's resources. And?" Chen kept her voice steady, though her hand instinctively moved toward her sidearm. "Your world possesses adequate quantities of rare earth elements, sufficient biomass for processing, and acceptable water reserves." Zixthul's crystalline head tilted, studying the humans like specimens. "We require 60% of your planetary resources. In exchange, we will permit your species to continue existing on the remaining 40% of your world." The silence stretched between them like a taut wire. Chen had expected this moment ever since the Kethvar's intentions became clear through intercepted communications. They were galactic locusts, strip-mining civilizations across the Orion Arm for millennia. "That's generous of you," Chen said finally, "but I'm afraid we'll have to decline." Zixthul's inner light flared brighter. "You misunderstand, primitive creature. This was not a request. We have harvested 47 worlds in this sector alone. Your resistance is irrelevant." "You know," Chen said, stepping closer to the viewport, "we humans have a saying. Play with fire and you'll get burned." "Fire?" Zixthul's translator struggled with the concept. "You speak of combustion? How quaint. We transcended such crude chemistry eons ago." Chen smiled, a predator's grin that made Rodriguez take a step back. "Commander, initiate Operation Prometheus." "Admiral, are you certain?" "Do it." Rodriguez's fingers flew across his console. Throughout Earth's orbital defenses, hidden systems came online, not weapons in any conventional sense, but something the Kethvar's sophisticated sensors had overlooked entirely because it seemed so impossibly primitive. The first sign was a faint orange glow emanating from what the aliens had dismissed as debris fields. Thousands of cloaked platforms ignited simultaneously, each one a fusion furnace burning at temperatures that matched the core of stars. "What is this?" Zixthul demanded, his crystalline features flickering as radiation alarms began screaming throughout the Kethvar fleet. "You called it crude chemistry," Chen said, watching as the artificial suns blazed brighter. "We call it controlled nuclear fusion. Turns out when you've spent a few centuries perfecting combustion, you get pretty good at making things burn really, really hot." The Kethvar ships, designed to absorb and redirect energy, began to buckle. Their black hulls, perfect for stealth, became death traps as they greedily drank in more radiation than their systems could handle. "Impossible." Zixthul's form was visibly destabilizing, his inner light stuttering. "Your species barely achieved interplanetary travel. You should not possess such technology." "That's where you made your mistake," Chen said, watching another Kethvar cruiser begin to glow cherry red. "You assumed advancement was linear. You saw our chemical rockets and fusion reactors and thought we were centuries behind you." She gestured to the burning fleet. "But you never asked what happens when a species that's really, really good at making things explode decides to get creative." The fusion platforms weren't just burning, they were singing. Each one transmitted on a different frequency, creating a symphony of stellar fire that interfered with Kethvar technology in ways their engineers had never imagined. Systems that had functioned flawlessly for millennia began to fail as harmonic resonances tore through their crystalline circuitry. "You have 2 choices," Chen continued as escape pods began ejecting from the dying ships. "Leave now, with whatever vessels can still fly, or stay and burn with the rest. Zixthul's form was fragmenting, pieces of his crystalline body floating, away like luminous snow. This is not over, human. The collective will what? Send more ships for us to turn into space barbecue? Chen's smile widened. By all means, tell them what happened here. Tell them that the primitive humans with their crude chemistry turned your entire fleet into the galaxy's most expensive fireworks display. The remaining Kethvar vessels were already fleeing, their once perfect formations scattered like leaves in a solar wind. Zixthul flickered one last time before his form dispersed entirely, his consciousness retreating to whatever backup systems the aliens used. Rodriguez was staring at the tactical display in awe. Ma'am, we actually did it. We sent them running. We did more than that, Commander. Chen watched the last fusion platform burn itself out, its fuel exhausted but its purpose fulfilled. We taught the galaxy something important about humanity. What's that, Admiral? Chen turned away from the viewport, where Earth continued its ancient rotation, blue and beautiful and unbroken. We're the species that looked at the fundamental forces of the universe and asked, how can we set this on fire? And when someone threatens our home? She paused at the door, her words carrying the weight of prophecy. We give them our answer in flames. In the days that followed, word spread through the galactic communication networks. The Kethvar, for the first time in their recorded history, had been forced to retreat. The primitive humans, with their obsession for combustion and their barely developed technology, had somehow turned stellar physics into a weapon of impossible precision. And across the galaxy, other predatory species began to wonder, if these humans could make stars themselves burn on command, what else were they capable of? The age of human expansion was about to begin, and it would be written in fire.